Ambassador Theros, can a peace plan that might exclude Europe succeed when Brussels funds half of Ukraine's war efforts and future reconstruction?
In a rational world, it cannot succeed.
It
The European,
cannot succeed in a rational world.
in a rational world, in a rational world, the Europeans must know that defeat in Ukraine, a peace that ends up as a Ukrainian defeat and exposes Europe to further hostilities down the line, with what appear, and let me clarify that, such a defeat could only come for the Ukrainians if the United States, if President Trump basically tells the Ukrainians it's a bad deal or no deal. If you're, that would be an indication to Europeans that in the future they could not count on American assistance should something else go on.
And do you read, sir, that they can count on American systems now?
Yes, I think they can. I think right now the pressure in the United States on President Trump, even if he doesn't want to, domestically, it would be very difficult for President Trump, even within his own political party and even with his biggest supporters, to walk away from an Article 5 obligation. If Ukraine falls, if Ukraine becomes ultimately a puppet of Moscow, I think you will see eroding support in the United States in general for for America's commitment to Europe, and these are all psychological. They're not. I'm not saying that this is the way it will be in a formal way, but psychologically, if Trump is succeeded by another president with the same mindset in terms of a departure from Europe, Europe could be in.
So, sir, is the core of the issue that Trump wants Ukraine to get out of the core of Europe, or is Zelensky working on European countries like France and other countries that he's visiting now, actually on the ground as we talk? Or is U.S. President Donald Trump supporting Zelensky at this point? Because we all know that he has, of course, closed doors talks with President Vladimir Putin, but we don't know much about these talks and they're not revealed. However, there are sanctions that Donald Trump apply on Russia. How do you read this complicated situation, sir?
The only way that Russia can be brought to heel, that Putin may decide that he needs to accept less than what he's demanding, depends more on the United States than on Europe at this moment. One is actually applying the sanctions that have been threatened, and the provision of significant new weaponry, particularly long-range weaponry to Ukraine, is the only way that Putin might be forced back. His advance might be stopped. So that
what is the only way that might stop Putin, sir?
Is real American application of the sanctions. At the moment, we've announced sanctions, but there's a great deal of trade and commerce and movement of money going on. You can't violate the sanctions of a country, but in defiance of the sanctions, and we have not actually taken the concrete steps that would make the sanctions as painful as they could be. And also, it is not quite clear if we will provide Ukraine weapons they need to hurt Russia internally. Absent those two actions, Putin can probably believes that he can continue the war and will ultimately gain what he wants on the battlefield.
Sir, are you sure that he probably, or he's sure he can continue the war? Because he's Vladimir Putin.
I believe Vladimir Putin believes that.
So he
And,
believes it.
and in addition, uh, his internal situation is such that I don't think he can tolerate a defeat. A defeat at the hands of Ukraine would be extremely difficult for Putin to manage internally.